time right now is 7:17, and in this morning's medical alert, a new study reveals that expectant fathers may struggle with depression. Canadian researchers surveyed more than 600 men during the third trimester of their partner's pregnancy, and they found out that about 13% showed symptoms of depression. Men who were having sleep difficulties were at a higher risk of developing the blues. And Dr. Kevin Ferentz, lead physician at GBMC Owings Mills, is here to talk more about that. So why do expectant dads get down?
Well, it's funny because this study showed something that we're used to actually not seeing, which is we're usually seeing women with depression. Women are affected twice as often as men are, but anyone can be depressed, and being in a pregnancy is certainly a stressful time, and stressful events can also precipitate episodes of depression. So I'm not terribly surprised. So
worried about finances, maybe their partners and their life changing together, that sort of thing?
Huge change. One of the biggest changes that happens in a family is when a baby is born.
It certainly is. All right, let's talk about some of the signs and symptoms of depression, what to watch out for.
Sure. Well, first, of course, is feelings of depression, feeling sadness, feeling hopeless, feeling helpless. Then the other major symptom is not having fun.
Yeah.
It's people who lose interest in the things that they normally would do. Those are one, and you have to have one of those two major symptoms to meet criteria for depression. Then you can have sleep disturbance.
Right.
You can have feeling guilty, and that sleep disturbance, by the way, can be sleeping all the time, or not sleeping at all, or waking up frequently in the middle of the night.
And what is that guilty feeling?
Well, the chemicals in your brain that cause you to be depressed make you feel bad about yourself.
Yeah.
People who are depressed feel guilty about feeling depressed. Then there's loss of energy, trouble concentrating, an appetite disturbance. And again, in the old days, we used to think it was just losing weight, but actually can be gaining weight as well. And then something we call psychomotor agitation or retardation, which is where people, a patient of mine once described it as feeling like walking through jello. And then agitation would be a person who just can't sit down, who's wringing their hands all the time. And then, of course, the worst thing is thoughts of hurting yourself or killing yourself.
And that thoughts of jello, I've also heard it like people feel like they have lead weights on them. They just can't move.
Absolutely true. That's it.
Are there people walking around that are depressed that don't even know it?
So actually only 50% of people who meet criteria for depression get any treatment at all.
Wow.
And of those, about 40% get adequate treatment. So really only 1 in 5 people who are depressed are adequately treated.
Is it still the stigma that you're afraid to admit that maybe you might need some help?
There's no question about it. That's one of the things. But the other issue is, remember, you don't necessarily have to feel depressed to meet criteria for depression. You can just have that symptom of not having fun, what we call anhedonia.
Okay. We want to make sure that we tell people about the lecture that's coming up, and that's happening October the 13th.
Tuesday evening.
All right, and that's at 6:30. It's at GBMC's, and I'm going to let you pronounce that for me.
It's called the Civiletti Conference Center, and I'm going to be talking about depression in women. This is a program for women because women are often taking care of everybody else but aren't necessarily taking care of themselves. And this is a lecture series called Time for Me.
All right, Dr. Ferentz, thank you so much for coming in. Really appreciate it.